it's Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about my January TBR, or to be read. There is one readathon that I discovered called the Classics-a-thon, and it's being hosted by Lucy the Reader. I'll link her channel below, and the only requirement is that you read a classic. You can read as few or as many as you want, and I really put my love of classics by the wayside the past 2 years since I discovered my love for fantasy, and I really want to get back into reading classics. So that is my goal for this year, to read one classic per month. The general definition of a classic is a book published before 1960. There's also the Jane Austen read-along, or the Austen Anonymous read-along, hosted by Wild Book Garden and Paige Green Taylor. For that one, we're just reading one Jane Austen book a month, which meets my goal of one classic per month. So, segueing into my first TBR book for January, and that is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. And this follows the story of Catherine Morland, and she loves Gothic novels. And this novel basically follows her. It's her coming of age story, and she's trying to navigate this new world of friendships and romance and things like that, all while being a parody of the classic Gothic book. The last time I read this was at least 10 years ago. It makes me really sad because I love Jane Austen, and it's been so long that I don't remember anything that happens in this book. So I'm excited to read it. In case you're wondering, this is the Word Cloud Classics edition, and I got it on Amazon. But I love it because it has that flexi-bound cover, and the end pages are gorgeous. Next, I wanted to finish The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Era 1 Mistborn series. And then I want to read Hero of Ages, which is the third book in the trilogy. And that basically follows the story of Vin, and they are trying to defeat this Lord ruler who is tyrannical and has just made the world they live in a living hell. And the trilogy follows the story of Vin and her crew as they try to defeat this Lord ruler and dealing with the repercussions of that, and as well as their relationships, and Vin really learning how to trust other people and really coming into herself. She's a teenager, and the crew she's with is all adults, so it's so nice to see a good pairing like that. But I did a review for Mistborn, The Final Empire, which is the first book, and I'll link it. And I also, by the time this comes up, my review for The Well of Ascension will be up, so I'll link that as well. This is what I get for procrastinating. The next book I want to read is The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is the first book in the Wheel of Time series, which is a 14-book epic fantasy. I'm going to give you a terrible synopsis of this book because it's such a vast world. It's hard to put it in words. Basically, in this world, time turns, hence the Wheel of Time, and ages come and go, and memories become legends, which become myths, and things are forgotten until an age is rebirthed again. And basically, in this world, the Dark One has tainted the magic system in this world so that any man who tries to use the magic will go insane. And so only women are able to wield this magic. And this book basically opens where this man called the Dragon goes up against the Dark One using this power and ends up causing what's called the breaking of the world. In this new age, there is a prophecy stating that a new dragon will come along and challenge the Dark One again, which will cause another breaking of the world in this age. And that's terrible synopsis, but that's pretty much all I've gotten from this. I have already started it since today is the 6th of January, but I'm almost 200 pages into it. That's the best synopsis I can give right now. Which, don't be fooled, it is really good so far. Next, I want to read the book Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. I am part of the street team to promote this book, so I got so lucky and I got an ARC of this book, or an advanced reader copy. So my plan is to read this book even though it comes out on the 7th. The synopsis to this book is really hard to explain, but it basically is inspired by Bolivian politics and history. It's an Own Voices novel, and it follows this girl, Ximena, and she is actually a decoy Condesa, or a decoy for the last royal. Her people have lost everything to this tyrant who used an ancient relic to summon ghosts and drive the people from La Ciudad. Now Ximena wants revenge, and she is actually able to spin thread from Moonlight. Once again, terrible synopsis, but the cover is gorgeous and the author is so incredibly sweet. And last but not least, I want to read Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. One other read-along is the Anne-along, I believe is what it's called, and that's happening this year, and it's hosted by the Curly Reader and Tia and Her Books. I think that's her channel name, but I'll link them down below as well. But they are reading one Anne of Green Gables book a month, and I don't know if I'm going to participate for all the months, even though I do own all the books, but I definitely wanted to reread Anne of Green Gables because this is one of my childhood favorites. I don't know how many times I've read this, but it basically follows the story of orphan Anne Shirley, and through some mix-up, she ends up living with Matthew and Marilla, a spinster and bachelor brother and sister at Green Gables. And Anne is very dramatic and imaginative and creative and chatty, and her view of the world is so full of wonder, and her dramatics just make everyone laugh. And this is basically her growing up at Green Gables and learning about life and finding her bosom friend and navigating friendship and just growing into herself. Set in Prince Edward Island, which is really close to where my family is originally from, which is Nova Scotia. So this book has a lot of sentimental value for me. And I love that when I'm reading this, I can smell the ocean and feel the breeze and just picture everything. And the movie Anne of Green Gables was my sick day movie growing up, so this book just will always hold a special place in my heart. Audible has an original recording where Rachel McAdams is actually the narrator, and she does a great job. So I do recommend that if maybe you want to try it on audio instead of reading the physical, or if you want to flip back and forth. But I definitely recommend checking this out, and I'm really excited for my reread of this because I know I'm just going to enjoy my time reading it. That is the end of my TBR. Like I said, I'm really trying to be mindful of what I'm reading, and this felt like a reasonable amount of books, even though I know I'll probably read more than this. I won't be rushing to finish this huge TBR stack before the month is over. What are you guys reading this month? Are you reading any of these books or participating in the Austin Anonymous read-along or the Analong? Let me know down below. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. As always, if you like this video, make sure to click the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.